Welcome back to the sewing room. Thank you for coming back to watch the rest of the quilt make. I put timestamps in the video so that if you just want to go straight to the quilting, you can do that. I did actually record an instruction here, but there was some music in the background, so I realised that might give me a copyright strike, so I'm just recording this voiceover. Just wanted to show you how messy I've got the sewing room since I did the tidy up originally and the makeover. And so I took a pause from making the quilt to have a little bit of a tidy up and a bit of a sort out. And of course, I also decided that I would finish the quilt on the Singer Treadle sewing machine that you can see in the corner there. And that was going to mean that I'd need it tidy and I'd need to move some furniture. Can I just take this opportunity to thank you if you've recently subscribed to my channel or if you are an old timer returning. I'm aiming to post weekly now, so your loyalty will be rewarded with, I'm hoping, at least one quilting or sewing video a week from now on. After this quick tidy up of the sewing room, I took a trip to my local shop and purchased some lovely fabric for the back of the quilt. I hope you enjoy watching, and I do love to receive your comments. That's the best part of doing this. I'm hot and bothered now, but I have made some progress. Hooray! So got a big bag of crap out there to throw away or donate. I've managed to organise this shelf, and these are the things that get used a lot, but I had them in a big pile down here, so I was having to move all the boxes every time I needed something, so they're now up there. I managed to get rid of some things on there that didn't need to be there. I've still got this chest of drawers to sort out. I need to, I've just put patterns in there and stuff, but I can leave that for now because it's not stuff I need to access a lot. Reorganised now is sort of stuff that I've got more realistic chance of actually using at some point. There it all is tidy, and in the bottom I've got cottons and threads and braids and scraps tucked out the way, which is what was the intention when I repurposed this wardrobe, was to have the untidy looking stuff packed away. Now, we've been promised rain here in the UK for about 3 weeks, and it has finally arrived. This is, I'm not sure if you can see, but this is the end of Storm Erin, and it has finally arrived in the northwest of England, and I'm so thankful. It's just a steady bit of rain, it's not very heavy, but it is rain nonetheless, and it's very welcome indeed. There's a lot of, it looks like autumn in some parts around here because the leaves are, they're not falling as in autumn, they're falling because they're dead. This is the Treadle sewing machine. I've been dumping things on top, so cleared those out of the way, ready for use. So we're ready to go, I'm really pleased. So I'm just going to go out now and buy some fabric to go on the back of the quilt, and then we can get on with finishing the quilt. Back from the shop, I bought this. It's double gauze, and my reason for choosing this is because the colours go, I think. It's I suppose a little bit overly floral because you've got all the florals on this side, florals on the back, but one of the reasons for choosing it is because when you have a pattern like this, it's very forgiving when you're quilting. I think if you've got a quilting machine or you're a very expert quilter, you can do those swirly things. I've never done it, don't have anything to do it with, on a plain backing, and it looks fantastic, but I don't have a hope of ever being able to do that. And I want it to be something that does feel very soft. So some of my other choices for backing it were things I've already got, which are linen mix, cotton mix, yarn dyed, stripy fabrics, which are great for linings and that kind of thing, and they're very nice drapey fabrics, but they're not soft like this. So I bought 1.5 meters of that, and what I did have was, because I did think I might use a minky and that would be the only backing, but the reason I didn't do it was because I had this leftover piece of batting, and if I splice it together, take something off the length and put it on the side, it's exactly the right size for this. So therefore I wanted obviously a thinner backing. So that's what informed my decision. So I'm just going to clear all this off here now and lay it out and pin it. It's not going to work, I'm going to have to do it on the floor. Yes, my very fancy sewing table is in fact a camping table with a piece of hardboard on top. By the way, you might notice how sunny it is in here. The so-called rain, there was so little of it that it didn't even register on our weather station rain gauge that we've got in our garden. I'm splicing the batting together. I've done it by butting up the edges, very slightly overlapped, and then I've done a wide and long zigzag stitch down one side, then I've flipped it over and I've gone down the back. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's how I'm doing it. Now I've got a slightly wavy edge there, which I'm not going to trim down just in case I need that extra width on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to the other side, because then I've got two straight edges being attached together, and then the wavy edge can be at the edge. Hope that makes sense. Just going to splice these together in the same way. here we are back again in the sewing room another day, and finally got to probably what is the best part of making a quilt, I think sometimes, is putting on the binding. Now I've chosen this star print, it's like pink stars. It's going to be looking like this. Have a look, see what you think. So before I join those together, I'm going to trim the edge of the quilt. Don't you just love this bit when your quilt's all ready to go? And I'll just be sewing diagonally down there to join them. Just pressing out the seams now so that they lie nice and flat. Just checking what it's looking like, because I want to make sure that there's binding showing on both sides, so that's going to be all right. stop 1/2 inch before the end and back stitch a couple of stitches. Take it out and snip the threads. Then fold the binding back on itself at a 45-degree angle like that, and then cut it and fold it along the line, the next side, along the line of the next side, so that it's parallel here, and then turn it around and start with your same 1/2 inch seam allowance almost off the end of the quilt. And then if your machine, this isn't a very fat quilt, but if your machine is struggling, just use something like this, or crochet hook or something to restart. Finishing this project, sitting in my little sewing nook, knowing that there are other people out there in the world who are as passionate about this kind of thing as I am, and I hope you like the finished product. I'm actually really pleased with it. I like the way the binding looks with the broderie anglaise down the edge. I like the way it looks with the backing. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you'll enjoy looking at some of the close-ups of it as well. Thanks for watching.